This program airs statewide on California Public Television and is a California's Gold classic. This series is endorsed by the California Teachers Association, the California School Boards Association, and the California Library Association. It's one of the most beautiful beaches in Southern California, located about 60 miles south of Los Angeles. Its 60-foot-high cliffs, areas of lush vegetation, and glistening water create a warm and inviting atmosphere. San Onofre Beach is a popular place to surf, to play volleyball, or just to hang out. Has been since the 1930s. And as we discovered, it's also a beach filled with history and surfing lore, and is very much a part of California's gold. Now, the old-timers will tell you that surfing probably started in a small way at San Onofre back in the 1930s. After World War II, the Marine Corps owned the entire beach area as part of the newly created Camp Pendleton, but established a working agreement with the surfers to let them through the gates and onto the beach by flashing their San Onofre Surfing Club membership cards. The Surf Club was officially established in 1952 and was made up of surfers and their families, people who quickly set up the business of having a lot of fun. All sorts of activities, from surfing itself to luau's and sing-alongs and all sorts of celebrations, contests, and parties. From the very beginning, the club was a family deal, including children and spouses in all the activities. San Onofre Beach and the San Onofre Surfing Club became legend and were a quintessential part of the California beach culture. In 1973, the beach was acquired by the state, became San Onofre State Beach, and was suddenly open to everyone. But the club stayed intact, and today its membership includes over 1,000 families. Families who are continuing many of the proud surfing club traditions. Now, we're walking to the water, which is, I guess, a ritual in itself, isn't it?
Oh, yes, it is.
How many years you been making this trek from the beach down into the water?
I was here my first time in 1943.
Really? 1943?
Mm-hmm. I was a high school student, and right after that, after the service, I was actually stationed on Camp Pendleton. I came down here a couple times during that.
So you were surfing here when you were in the Marine Corps?
Yes, Actually, I was in the Navy. I was a corpsman, but I was stationed with the Marines.
Well, here we go. Now, what's the deal here? Who goes in first? What happens?
Whoever gets there first.
All right. Boy, I didn't realize the beach. I didn't realize the beach was so rocky. It's how's that on the feet?
Well, most of the guys wear booties, but you get used to it.
Yeah.
But there's some sharp rocks with barnacles, so you got to be real careful.
So a newcomer needs to know the rules of the game when they come in the first time.
Well, as far as riding the waves, they should, because whoever's on the waves first has the right of way.
Okay.
And you have to stay out of the waves. So.
All right. You're off. Wow, this is great.
Oh, hey, it can't be beat. It's the only life to live.
How long have you been living this life?
52 years.
Yeah. Down at this beach.
Been coming here for 52 years. Raised my family here, the whole works. This is my home away from home.
When you say raised your family here, what do you mean?
Well, I mean, my kids learned to surf here, and From the time they were babies, why they came down and with us and just spent a lot of time here.
And are the waves really that good here?
Oh, absolutely. Not all the time. Today is one of the smallest days of the year probably, but it can get very good.
All right.
Sometimes it can be 10, 12 feet here. You know, it's
Yeah.
rare, but it happens. And you know, those are the days you just can't wait to, you know, have them come along. But today obviously is not one of them. But hey, it beats not surfing. You know how it goes.
I was going to say, any day is a good day to surf, right?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, life is wave count. You know what I mean?
He's off. Now, are you a member of the club?
Yeah, for as long as I can remember now.
What do you mean, as long as you
Well,
could?
my dad was a charter member in 1948, or I would imagine Sam knows the exact date they set it up, and so third generation now became president for the last couple of years, which was a pretty big honor, especially growing up here. That's you know, we had a private beach for about 25 years and got to watch it progress all the way through, and it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah. Is this part of it too, to kind of stand here and observe and critique how they're doing?
That's what we're doing. We're kind of telling them, oh, wait, gee, you just missed that one. You got to get a little further up in the nose, things like that, you know.
Well, this is the surfing family. Introduce yourself.
My name's Tracy Hagland.
And this is?
This is my dad, Gene Peterson.
And this is your?
And that's my son, Bradley Hagland.
Now, how often do the three of you surf together? How long have you been surfing together?
Well, since Bradley was about 4 years old, we started taking him out, and Bradley and I would go tandem together. And I think I probably did the same thing with my dad when I was about 4. He used to take me out, so.
To this beach?
To this beach, San Onofre, yep.
Well, what do you think about San Onofre Beach? This is part of a tradition, isn't it?
Yep.
Well, what have you heard about the tradition of San Onofre Beach and the club and all of that?
I don't know.
Well, I mean, have you heard any stories about it?
Yeah.
What kind of stories?
Like surfing stories and surfing contests.
Yeah, surfing contests, and I'm sure your granddad won them all, right?
Well, I won a couple. I'm really proud of them, though. Tracy just won our recent contest for the senior ladies, and Bradley won the 8 and under.
Really?
And I just sat there and blew up like a big toad.
Now, the whole idea behind this beach has always been that it's been a family beach, hasn't it?
It always has been a family beach. We've raised our 2 daughters on it, and one of them's raising her 2 children on it right now. And we've really enjoyed it. It's been a lot of our lives.
Well, the tradition continues. Let's get a family snapshot right here. Grandfather, daughter, son. Boy, you're having a hard time with that board. There they are, surfing together. How did it go out there today?
Well, for the kind of surf it was a lot of fun. This is the hardest part.
Just getting in.
Getting that bear over the rocks, yeah.
Yeah. Well, these rocks are really not what you would call conducive to comfortable entry and exit from the water.
Yeah, but that's what makes the wave break. It's part of the reef. That's what prevents it from being a swimming beach and makes it a surfing beach.
Really?
Yeah. If this was nice sand here, we would have tons of swimmers, and then we'd have to have hours, you know, for the board and so on. Because people can't swim here, it becomes a surfing-only beach.
Come on, let's get out of here.
Okay.
Is the water, is this cold water, warm water?
Medium.
Yeah.
It's low 60s. Not too bad for this time of year.
Yeah. Boy, it's a big deal just carrying that thing out of here.
Well, this is an orthopedic board. The older you get, the bigger the board gets.
where else can you go and surf with people of all generations? You know, I'll be taking a wave and there'll be an 80-year-old man or woman next to me, passing me most of the time, and it's great, from young children on up to adults. It's the greatest place.
Now, did you stumble on this beach by accident, or did you know about the history of this beach?
I knew about the history more so as I was here, coming here in the years. You learn more and more, and with especially a lot of the old timers out here, and they'll tell you what's going on and things. But I was taken here as a kid, and it just kind of grew, and just loved this place. It's so free. It's such a nice place to be.
Are you a member of the club?
No, I'm definitely not. In a sense, I guess I definitely need to join in one way or the other. But I hope I would have.
Well, I mean, is there a hierarchy? I mean, you're still made to feel welcome, aren't you?
Obviously, everywhere. This is where I take all my friends to teach them to surf, because this is the greatest place to learn, because everybody's so nice. I mean, a lot of other places are very competitive, but here you definitely, it's like home.
How would you describe what it's like to be a lifeguard at this beach?
Well, I'll tell you, there isn't a better job in the whole world than being a lifeguard here. The people are great. It's a great office to come to every day. Every morning when I wake up, I look forward to coming to work.
Well, now, most lifeguards are going to say that at beaches, but
That's
what
true.
makes this beach unique?
I think what's unique about it is the family atmosphere that you have here. You see generations of surfers, from grandparents down to young grandchildren learning to surf, and it just is a neat atmosphere to be involved in.
Now, you're a lifeguard. Are you on duty now, or?
Well, I'm on duty today, but I'm going out to make sure everything's kosher and safe in the water.
I got you. Head on out.
Thanks, Huell.
And how was it out there today?
Well, it was sort of small, but it was
Yeah.
fun. Yeah.
Well, now, when you say fun, what do you mean?
Well, if you can get a ride, it's fun. Sometimes it's so small, you know, you can't even get on.
How many years you been surfing on this beach?
Since 1956.
So in the last 40-something years, you've had good days out here, bad days out here, every kind of surf conditions you could ask for.
You know, surfing is a lot like skiing. You never know what the snow is going to be like until you get on there and ski. And, you know, we start off from home and we never know what it's going to be like down here. And sometimes you hit it lucky, you know, and get some really good waves.
And if you don't?
Well, it's a heck of a nice place just to hang out, you know.
Well, I'm standing here and you're holding the board, so I should let you.
Okay, I want to tell you one thing. My wife belonged to this club before I did, and they had a waiting list of 1,500 people to get on it.
Yeah.
And so I always told her I married her because she had a membership.
Did you bring your kids here?
No, I don't have any children. I'm just an old lady surfer.
Well, you've got, over the years,
nephews.
you probably think of all these people as your children in a way, don't you?
Right, and I have nieces and nephews that surf now.
Uh-huh.
That surf well.
They surf well.
Yes, they surf well.
And how would you describe how you surf?
Pretty well for a 71-year-old lady.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess.
Who's got the history on these particular boards?
These boards were made in about 1947 for a gentleman named Benny Merrill, who's been a longtime surf clubber here. And he donated them to the state parks. When did he donate them, Michael?
It was in the late 70s, I'd say.
The late 70s, and they've been used on display and also for interpretive programs or campfire programs. We bring them out and show the people what the boards used to be like.
Let's pick one of these things up. What were these made out of?
It looks like solid redwood. This one must weigh between 60 and 80 pounds at least.
Can we pick this one up?
Sure can. Let's give it a...
Oh my gosh. Fellas, who's surfed on a board like this before?
Well, I've surfed on a board like the other one. I've never surfed on a hollow board like this one, but
boy,
they're both in the old timers.
That's a huge board.
That's a huge board. That's right. That's about 12 feet, I'd say.
And how heavy is this board? Do we know?
Approximately 90 to 100 pounds. It's hard to, it's really, the balance of the weight is real tough. That's why a lot of people in the old days had to be big and strong to surf, because you had to carry the board across the beach to get there.
Good grief. Now, this is what the boards used to be?
That's what they tell me. Yeah, I'm too young to know.
Okay, here are the ladies over here playing bridge. Ladies, what's the story on the bridge game? How long's this bridge game been going on?
Well, ever since we've been coming to San Onofre, for about 30 years, we've just kind of really got organized, so we have certain days we play. This is not our regular bridge day. When we have regular bridge day, we have 4 tables.
4 tables?
Uh-huh.
So this is serious.
It is serious. Oh, really?
Now, are you playing bridge because you don't surf?
Well, we all used to be
Uh-huh.
water dogs, but not anymore.
Wait a minute, you were what?
Water dog. Oh, you
Y'all
haven't
were
heard-
water dogs?
Yes.
You'll have to fill me in on that. What is?
Like the water,
I
all
gotcha.
kinds of stuff in the water. Belly boards and what? Some surfboards.
Some surfboards.
Some
All
surf-
of you surfed?
At one time, a little
You
bit.
know, in those days, these surfboards were made, the surfboards we went out on were made out of balsa with the redwood rails and sometimes redwood down the center, and they were very heavy. And there weren't many women down here, even the really athletic ones, that could carry a board.
Uh-huh.
So you drug your board out to the water, you know, and it was interesting.
Yeah.
We all did it. Yeah. But we just didn't last that long.
My dad surfed and I surfed and my sister surfed, and that's just what we do. And
But as a little girl, were you also excited about all the parties, the luau's, all the other activity that was going on?
there was a lot going on. Bocce ball, volleyball, horseshoes, you name it. They had it going on. They had parades and everything, opening ceremonies for these funny Olympics where they'd have the chair folding contest, and I remember pie throwing contests, and it was wonderful. It was very fun. So hopefully we'll continue that tradition.
For her.
And for Natalie to watch us do the same thing, and it's been a great experience. So we'll pass it on.
Now, I've seen old pictures of the beach down here, and there was a shack that looked like a kind of a grass shack that looked like it was the center of activity down here.
Oh, very definitely. It was a place that we could lean our boards and get into a little shade if we needed it. And as far as I know, it was here from the 30s.
Really?
Even before my time.
Look at this area here. This has got a wonderful look to it. Has it always looked this tropical?
Well, this little area in here was originated by Frank Hops. He was an old San Onofre surfer and loved to garden. So he kept bringing down all these exotic plants and planting them in this little area. And he'd come down every day and water it religiously. And
Really?
These are the results.
Even the shower here is neat on the beach, kind of stuck in the middle of all this bamboo.
Yeah, you know, originally they were on the other side of the road, but the water just eroded out the road, so the club moved them over here, and the bamboo grew around them, and there you have it.
And you have restrooms here, public restrooms. That's probably an improvement from the old days.
Originally it was just the standard old-fashioned outhouse type of thing.
They had outhouses
the
here.
old pit toilets, yeah, the old original outhouses.
And no concession stands.
No
Everybody has to bring their own food here.
Exactly, yeah. If you don't bring it, it's not available.
Now, is that a conscious decision as well?
Yes, yeah. We just wanted to keep it as primitive as possible, and that was one of the ways of doing that.
You're really carrying on this incredible tradition. I mean, you look over here. This isn't here by chance. This is all part of history, and the exciting thing about it is it's ongoing history.
Yes, yeah. I first came down here back in about 1970. My father brought me down. He'd been coming down since the 50s, and of course it was a private beach then. And when the state took over in the early 70s, we just the club decided to stay together and work with the state and keep it in its original condition.
So it was no longer a private club, but in every other way, it stayed pretty much the same.
Yes, yeah, exactly. Yeah, we work with the state, keep them from, at one point in time they wanted to pave it. They wanted to have...
They wanted to pave it?
They wanted to pave it at one time. We actually sent guys to Sacramento to negotiate that, and they got out of that one.
So they wanted to make all this a parking lot
Exactly,
here.
yeah, parking lot, lines, parking meters, the whole works, and we didn't want that.
Wow.
And it worked.
Well, it worked because of your members, because of the way they felt about the place.
Right.
And that came about because of what?
Well, I think the state realized that there is quite a bit of history to surfing in this place, and keeping it in its historical context was an important thing for them.
When you talk about historical context, I've seen your yearbook the club has its own yearbook, and it's filled with these wonderful pictures of luau's and hula contest and pig roast and all the things that you really stereotypically associate with beach life and surf life in Southern California.
Right. Yeah. That book came out, right at the end of the private beach era, and they asked all the members to send in all their photos, and they just sorted through tried to get a little bit of everybody in there, and that book's quite a collector's item nowadays.
Do you think all of this history happened just by accident? In other words, when the club started, it had no idea it was going to grow into what it has become.
Absolutely no idea. It was started as a way to allow people to come to this beach under the rule of the military, and we had to maintain it.
This was a military beach, Camp Pendleton.
Exactly. Yeah, the military controlled everything as far as this beach went.
And it grew into this by accident, by.
Yeah, I guess you could say accident. Yeah, that's just the evolution of it all.
Fellas, what are we talking about? What do y'all talk about when you get through surfing and you're just standing around like this?
We're trying to figure out the words to California, here I come.
What do you normally talk about when you're standing around like that?
We try to remember what it was like, when, whatever.
Surf stories, or do you get into stories about your lives, your wives, your families, what's happening in your lives?
Yeah. People down here, what they're doing. But it still pretty much revolves around the water, the conversation.
Yeah.
One way or the other.
And does it get down to bragging rights about who's done what and who's better at?
I think not.
We all have known each other too long.
I think we started bragging down here, you'd be thrown out of the club.
How do you all decide who's going to be a member?
Well, anybody can join.
Fill the application and give $10 and you're in.
That's it?
Yeah.
And what does the $10 go for?
Oh, to keeping the place the way it is. We work with the state and maintaining it. We put a new roof on the shack every year. We grade the road and keep it in its natural state. Keep it from.
We have events down here that are real neat that we give back to the people that join. We have a luau once a year. There's a horseshoe tournament, volleyball tournaments, and a surf contest that we just had last week that probably one of the largest in California. We run probably over 75 kids through it, ages all the way down to 8 and under, and that's what the membership basically goes for, things that they started and have continued on.
Now, EJ, you've been coming to this beach since?
Oh, about 1936 I started coming down. I was in college at the time.
So you're one of the originals here, truly.
I'm afraid I am. Yes, I am. I'm afraid so. In spite of it all, I'm afraid I am.
What has this place meant to you? Why have you kept coming back all these years?
Well, two things obviously that your show is going to tell people is that I love to surf and I love to play music and sing. And I brought my kids up here. They're bringing my grandkids up on the beach here, and they're all, surfing and music. And back before the war, we could sleep on the beach. There was no Marine Corps, no nothing. It was just open beach for anybody. And we would Saturday nights get a lot of cheap wine and get ukuleles out, dig a big pit, build a big fire, and everybody get drunk and play Hawaiian music over and over.
You've spent a good deal of your life right out there.
Sure, I certainly have. When like when I was working, I'd have to just come down on weekends, but I retired 20 years ago, and now I come down whenever I want, which usually is around 3 days a week. Seems to fit me just right. At this stage, I can't do too much sun or too much big surf either, because I just can't. I don't have the strength anymore.
Well, looking out there. Yeah. It's about as pretty a sight as you can see with the...
appreciate it. You appreciate it. Oh, my God. You should have come down earlier, baby. We get you bored, huh? Yeah.
Well, how can you not look at that?
Look at that. Just look at that. Yeah. Every time Huell's helped me God, I put my board in the water. I may not feel well. I may have a headache. I start to paddle out, and everything drops away, and you start going through the waves, and you pick up a wave and ride, and it's just... the whole attitude changes. You should try it.
Yeah. This is what it's supposed to be, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
Now we're doing something here that's also part of the tradition here, aren't we?
Right. It is 20, 30 years at the Bamboo Room.
At the
Bamboo Room Symphony.
This is the Bamboo Room right here. And
what's the scenario? How would this take place?
Well, we are allowed to do this by the good graces of our leader here, and he has organized informally for the last 20 or 30 or 40 years. And whenever he brings out his guitar, that allows us, the rest of us, to bring out our guitars and do the same thing.
I love it. This is your show here.
Yeah, but I can't talk. I only sing.
All right. What are we gonna hear?
We're gonna hear that sterling old pre-war, when the steamers used to ply the ocean lanes to and from the islands. Little brown girl in a little grass skirt and a little grass shack in Hawaii.
And it's very appropriate to hear it in this kind of a setting, right?
You said it.
All right, let's go.
And I agree. But it's a little brown gal, a little grass skirt in a little grass shack in Hawaii. It isn't Waikiki, coming, it's probably not the Beach Boys free. With a hobo molly, it's a little brown gal in a little grass skirt, a little grass shack in Hawaii. Through that island wonderland, she broken all the she's a girl of parks, and I'll be leaving soon, but we'll go to enjoy Island Moon, fishing the pie. It's a little brown gal, a little grass girl, a little grass shack in a little grass shack, a little grass shack in the bite.
California, here I come, right back where I started from, where bowers of flowers bloom in the spring. Each morning at dawn and birdies sing, and everything the sun-kissed missus said, don't be late, that's why I can hardly wait. Open up your golden gate, California, here I come. California, here I come, right back where I started from, where bowers of flowers bloom in the spring. Each morning at dawn and birdies sing, and everything the sun kiss missing. Don't be late, that's why I can hardly wait. Open up your golden gate, California, here I come.
Well, hello everybody, I'm Huell Hauser, and I sure hope you enjoyed this adventure. If you'd like to see it again or share it with your family or friends, or perhaps donate a copy to your local school or library, it's available on video cassette and on DVD. All you have to do is call 1-800-266-5727, and we'll be glad to send it to you right away.